chair. Give that chair a He's tall. He's tall. I'm sorry, let's call to order this city council meeting, May 11th, 2015 at 6:04 p.m. Yvonne, would you like to call the roll?
Loudermilk.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
King.
Here.
Guthrie.
Here.
And Easton.
Here. Please stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for invocation. Yvonne?
Let us bow our heads. Lord, you promise that what we seek, you will always answer our prayers. We lift you up, Lord. We come and seek only after you. Lord, we ask that this council will lean heavily on you, on your guidance and direction tonight. We thank you all for what you've done, and we ask these in your precious Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
First, we'd like to recognize that we have a couple of young men from Troop 975 here for their citizenship in the community. I guess the badge for that. Joe Mullen and Stephen A. Mullen. Would you like to stand and wave at everybody on TV? Glad to have you. On the consent agenda, let's just kind of work through that, and let's start with the proclamation for National Officer of the Week. And that is to be observed May 10th through May 16th this year. And I will read the proclamation for the police officers that are here. To recognize National Police Week 2015 and to honor the service of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Bixby Police Department. Whereas nearly 60,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported each year, resulting in approximately 16,000 injuries. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, almost 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 117 officers killed in 2014 and 156 officers killed in previous years. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 27th Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2015. Whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of the National Police Week, which takes place this year on May 10th through 16th. Whereas May 15th is designated as Police Officers Memorial Day in honor of fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Bixby formally designates May 10th through the 16th, 2015 as Police Week in Tulsa County and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. Well, we got a little bit of a history lesson there, didn't we? So let's vote on item B, the consent agenda, proclaiming National Police Officer Week to be observed May 10th through 16th. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Loudermilk.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Guthrie.
Yes.
And Easton.
Yes. We're also going to proclaim the National Public Works Week to be observed May 17th through May 23rd, 2015. And the proclamation for that states, whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives. And whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public work systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets, and highways, public buildings, and cemetery. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now therefore, I, John Easton, Mayor of the City of Bixby, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through 23rd as National Public Works Week in the City of Bixby, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Guys, you do a great job, and we just couldn't do it without you. And the guys in the lime, green, yellow are with our public works, and we got a couple that you want to stand, so we know who you guys are welcome to stand, but we can find them. Appreciate you guys coming. Have a good week, May 17th through 23rd. So that would bring us to item C on the consent agenda, proclaiming National Public Works Week to be observed May 17th through 23rd, 2015. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Who was second? You? Okay. Loudmouth.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Stewart.
With much gratitude, yes.
Yeah.
Guthrie.
Yes.
Easton.
Yes. Thank you, guys, and the police officers as well.
Yeah.
The rest of the consent agenda, item A and D, does anyone have any questions, comment? If not, do we have a motion
Move to approve.
to approve the consent agenda? I got a motion. Second?
Second.
Loudmouth.
Yes.
Guthrie.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
And Easton.
Yes. Discussion on the regular agenda, item number 1. Discussion on manner in which the city can honor outstanding Bixby citizens and the possibility of naming Riverview Road in honor of Bixby football great Chris Harris Jr. Councilman King?
Yes, this is to me, it's an opportunity for us to finally give credit to a young man that's done a lot here for the city of Bixby. A lot of people don't realize what all he went through to do what he did. He was raised by a single mom, and he helped out with his sister all the time he was through high school. When he went to KU, he wasn't promoted real heavily, and when he went from KU to the pro, he wasn't promoted real heavily. He pretty much fought his way all the way through with a lot of heart and humility, and it's not anything he's asked for. It's actually something we as a community, I think, need to embrace, because we need to show, especially our youth, that when somebody does something worthwhile here, that we want to stand behind them and let everybody know how proud we are of them. And I just think this would be a great opportunity for us to do that.
What were we thinking about,
Well, we're thinking about going ahead and making an honorary name for now, and give us some time to look into the logistics of the 911 code and all the things that you have to do to see if later on maybe we can completely.
Okay. So your request is to Riverview Road, an honorary, and name it an honorary name after Chris Harris Jr. B, how will we do that on the signs? And how do you think we need to do it on the signs, Harold? Let's discuss that now and get that out of the way.
I would just look at some other communities, see how they're doing. I've seen some different
Yeah.
honoraries.
If it's honorary, because it will still be Riverview officially in the maps and Google Maps.
Sure, yes.
Your address is right, I gotta keep Riverview, so it might be something as putting something on the.
That's what I've usually seen, is another sign that says,
Of a different
has their name
color.
on it.
Yeah, yes.
I-
early blue or something. I'll look into
Yeah,
that.
I feel like the Spartan colors would be great. if you
Now-
lined it up.
Now, B, he is coming to the city of Bixby mid-June, so boy, if it would be any way you could get
We
that.
can have that done.
And possibly, you know, they could do a thing while he's here. He's doing what's he doing, a football camp?
Yeah, he's doing a football pad
So,
camp for the youth.
Be
here.
nice if we could have that ready, okay? Do we have a motion to honorarily name Riverview Road Chris Harris Jr. Road?
Mayor, really
Oh, I'm
quick.
sorry,
I didn't know if there was any other discussion or if someone signed up for it or.
not on this item, no.
Okay.
Did anybody have a discussion on that? I'm sorry, no one had signed, so
I just
we're good.
second what Councilman
Okay.
King's saying. I think that's really nice. Thank you for bringing this up. Because when we honor our people that come from among us and go do some great things, that always have that connection back to Bixby, it just shows that, you know, this is always home for them, no matter how far they go.
That's
So,
right.
thank you, sir. And thank you, Mrs.
Do
Harris.
we have a motion and a second? Is this the King family? Well, they've got Denver Bronco on there.
The Harris family.
Huh?
The Harris family. You said the
I'm
King.
sorry,
But yeah,
I'm not feeling well.
as far as I'm concerned, yeah, they're part of my family.
Okay, fine. Go Broncos. We've had a motion and a second. Let's vote. Get me out of this hot water. We need to move on.
Who was the first?
Who's the motion?
Harold made the motion, and I believe Richie seconded.
Okay, all right. Harold, okay, Harold, King,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Loudermilk.
Yes.
Guthrie.
Yes.
And Easton.
Yes.
Okay.
Item number 2 and 3, I have a conflict on, so I need to leave the room.
So that puts it
And
on me.
Dennis, our vice mayor, has the call.
Fun. What you guys know?
I need to step out too. No, I'm kidding.
We can all go home. All right. Second reading and discussion and consideration of an ordinance to amend ordinance number 272 to approve rezoning from CG to AG per CS per BZ 379 for approximately 14 acres in part of the N2 Government Lot 1, Northeast 4, Section 02, T17 R13E, located at the 122nd block of South Memorial. You're on.
Thank you. At the regular meeting in April, the Planning Commission held a public hearing and recommended approval of this one and the next one on the agenda. They're next to each other. The vote was unanimous, and it is consistent with staff's recommendation. If you look at a zoning map, there's kind of a hole presently where we have commercial zoning essentially surrounding this area, but not on this property or the one to the south, or actually the one to the south of that. Staff and Planning Commission concur in recommending approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any discussion, gentlemen?
I'd like to add that in compliance with the charter, that the particular ordinance has been posted in the, out here at City Hall for more than 10 days prior to this date of passage, as well as there's been a publication in the newspaper that's required by charter, particularly for ordinances that do not have an emergency clause. So if you vote 3 votes for this today, it will go into effect 30 days without the emergency clause, in 30 days.
What, sometimes I have a hard time translating zoning code. What are they trying to do?
Well, you may recall a few months ago, this was before you. These properties are right in the center of a large commercial area. They're undeveloped for the most part. And the owners have expressed a desire to position them where they can be marketed for sale for commercial development.
Okay.
And they don't want to have the asterisk that, well, you know, it's good commercial property, but it's not zoned that yet. You still have to get that done.
So they want to zone it commercial, so this isn't, nothing to do with residential, nothing, this is commercial.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other discussion? I need a motion and a
Move
second.
to approve.
Second.
Stewart,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
and Loudermilk.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, number 3, second reading and discussion and consideration of an ordinance to amend ordinance number 272 to approve rezoning from CS, OL, and RS3 to CS per BZ 380 for approximately 19 acres in part of the south second, I guess that's second
South
half,
half.
south half of government lot northeast 4 of section 02 T17N R13E, address 123rd Thousand South Memorial.
Same report, same recommendation. It's supported by our comprehensive plan, the surrounding zoning, land use patterns. This is commercial property. Staff and planning commission concur in recommending approval.
So pretty much the same thing, just trying to get it all zoned the same way.
And notice has been given just the same as the previous ordinance
Okay.
in compliance with our charter.
I have a motion and a second.
I motion.
I have a second?
Second.
King,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
and Loudmout.
Yes. And I believe we can invite them back in. That was my 10 minutes of fame right there. That was it, right there.
You got 5 more minutes, the rest of your life.
If I left like I planned, it would have been no fame.
That was going to tell you you'd pass.
That's me. Item number 4, discuss and/or take action on accepting bids for the 2015 CIRP pavement repairs project and awarding the contract to the lowest and best bid.
Good evening, council. As you may recall, we have set aside some funds under the citywide infrastructure rehabilitation program. This is our first project under that program. We will be making repairs in Greystone, 2 concrete patches. We're going to be repairing 131st Street. There's 2 asphalt patches there, and an asphalt patch at 161st Street east of Memorial. We went out for bids, and we received 4 bids. The low and best bid was McGuire Brothers for $164,523.
They've done stuff for us before, haven't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're a good company.
We're at on 131st.
In front of BA hitch trailer, which is, we keep having to repair that
That's pretty bad.
patch. And then there is another patch further west from there, coming out of that road. I don't remember right now, but it's about the same size. So
They said these are concrete patches?
it's going to be asphalt on 131st and 161st. In Greystone, they're going to be concrete to help the drainage issues.
Is that area that's kind of low?
It's actually going to be 3 patches there. Yes, sir.
We're at in Greystone.
Around the clock tower.
Mhm.
68th East Avenue and 118th and 67. They're pretty large.
Yeah,
They've been,
That intersection right there doesn't drain, it's all sets in there.
yes, and we had 2 intersections like that. And on a note before, I wanted to say that the IMS was in town at the early part of this month doing their survey, our pavement survey. So that has been done. We are waiting on the
you don't have
results
the results yet?
for us to then put together the 5-year capital improvement plan.
It's gonna be interesting to see that.
So we shouldn't wait on these until we get that report back?
No, we had this money set aside already for this year in the budget, and these have been long-standing, and they're gonna have to be repaired. We already knew what kind of repair we were gonna do there, so we went ahead and.
Didn't we actually vote on this about a month ago, a month and a half ago, about the Greystone?
Yes, you voted for us to go out for bids,
Yeah,
to advertise for bids.
and you did.
I've got a question, and I'm not doubting at all the work has to be done. And I'm not, this contractor keeps coming up over and over and over again, and I'm sure they're good. But it almost looks like they get everything that they bid in here. Is that correct?
Not everything, they do happen to be the low bidders, and that's how the system work. You know, it's the low and best bid,
Well,
and
unless
they,
you can show that the other.
and that
is
the other
qualified.
have, they do not have the experience, or they're not competent. Luckily for us, this is a very competent contractor. They do great work, and they have been doing work here for years.
TriStar did the last one, didn't they? Well, they did.
TriStar is one
did.
of the contractors. We
They
have
did
Maguire
111.
Brothers.
They did
Yeah.
111.
You remember Maguire Brothers from the transfer lift station? They just completed that project. That was a sanitary sewer project. So they do, and we are fortunate that they do work here because they're an excellent contractor.
Well, like I said, I mean, you know, I have questions whenever we keep seeing the same one over and over again get awarded the contracts. You know, I mean,
Councilman, to be clear, it is a state law that governs the practice, and it devises a very formal competitive process which requires publication, giving all parties equal access to the information, the opportunity to bid.
Are the bids open all at the same time?
Yes, sir. We actually, we
bids.
advertise, we have to advertise for at least 21 days. Then we have a pre-bid where we sit here. They are invited to come in. We tell them all of the facts. Everybody gets the same addendum. They have opportunities to ask questions at the meeting and after. And then they have until a set time, usually it's 10 o'clock on a Thursday. And then after that, we don't receive any more bids. They come in and we open all the bids at the same time, and we read them all aloud. And then we go and tabulate all the bids to make sure that everything matches. Sometimes we've had instances where the apparent low bidder actually made a mistake and their bids are actually higher, but they all have the same opportunity. You know, we have provided unit prices here in the bid tab, and you know, you can see the difference. There was one of them has $19,000 on traffic control. Maguire, under traffic control, had $3,300.
sure. Well, I'm not doubting the validity of the bid. I've been asked by a few constituents about it, and that's why I'm asking. Thankfully, you know, for this mode of television and transparency, when people hear the same name come up over and over again, I'm then beholden to ask the question, what's going on or why, or, you know, and if it's just the best one, and they have a good working relationship with the city, I'm sure all these do, then we go with it. But whenever constituents ask me, well, we keep hearing them, well, you know, so do I, so we'll ask. So that's why
I
I'm
think it's a
asking.
great question, and we really appreciate you asking,
Yeah, a
because
lot of
people
people may
might
not realize how
might
they're
not
awarded,
know.
but since it's all done blind and they're all up at the same time, there's.
And
really
I
no way for
appreciate the
someone to have a
opportunity to
competitive advantage.
clarify it, because it does make sense. We're just, usually it's
And
the
these
same.
these bid tabulation numbers are all public record.
Yes.
Anybody at any time can come and get these.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if
What
they had
about
a
the
question,
engineers
they
and
could
stuff?
actually.
Yeah.
That was done by me.
No, I mean, is it public record? as
Yes,
well?
it was, yes.
From the beginning or after all?
No,
or
after,
open?
no, after, yes. We,
I got a quick
we read it
question.
out loud, yes, sir.
Since we have so many of the guys that actually fix the streets out here, does this sound like some areas that you guys think are high priority?
There's only one
Going
street
over, I
guy
saw
here.
this.
Yeah, they're definitely really high priority, especially 131st.
I've had some complaints on that one.
Yeah.
In fact, I got a call from an ex-mayor in another city that called and chipped his tooth on that one on 100. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have any bad streets in Bixby. But anyways.
All our streets are perfect.
Okay, do we have a motion on this?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Loudmout.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Guthrie.
Yes.
And Easton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I just wanted to add and to thank this council for working with the administration to create a program whereby we can actually make repairs. The CERT program, the Comprehensive Infrastructure Rehabilitation Program, that's what that acronym stands for, was created by you about a year ago. This is some of the first fruits of that, where we use past budgetary savings to try to, which are one-time dollars, to put into one-time improvements, fixing our streets and drainage system. And so we were thrilled that you worked with us to create a mechanism for making it possible. And this is one of the first out of the chute. And with the, as Bea mentioned, the scientific analysis that was done, the engineering firm that drove every street in Bixby to identify the actual structural conditions, so forth, that information is going to help inform us together, working with you, to develop future priorities for going forward. And again, we can't thank you enough, and I know the citizens feel the same way for this type of leadership. Thank you.
Doug, will we be seeing the rankings when they come out? Is it gonna...
It's something we'll bring to you, and I know that other factors go into that, such as traffic volume, such as traffic accidents, the actual the nature of the problem that it is. There's just a variety of factors, but it's ultimately a policy decision. Our professionals will provide you information, but it's ultimately priorities made by council. CM report, maybe.
CM report, yeah, we approved that. I don't remember saying yes, but I guess we did. CM report.
It'll be brief. Mayor, council, and folks at home, just a reminder, we have an award-winning splash pad in Bixby at Bentley Youth Sports Complex. We're getting a few questions as to when will it open. Our practice is to open it on the Saturday of Memorial Day, and it operates from 9 to 9. I see these young men are familiar with it, and a lot of families do really enjoy that. Grandparents bring their grandkids. It actually got an international award, that particular facility, and it will be opened again 9 o'clock Saturday of the Memorial Day weekend. And other than that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about anything that was included in your packet. That was a short report for tonight.
Any questions? New business, seeing none, we adjourn this meeting of the Bixby City Council at 6:36 p.m. and open the Bixby Public Works Authority meeting at 6:36 p.m. Let the record show all members are present. On the consent agenda, do we have any questions or comments on the consent agenda? I have one on item D. Boy, that was an awful expensive rental. Why don't we, can we buy a pump?
We are looking into that. It's $35,000 to buy one that's same size.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Okay.
can't we buy, have we looked into buying some of the cities sell their stuff when it's fairly new? Like I know Tulsa actually does that. Have we looked into to see if they have any, because they'll actually, some of them will even donate it to the
Like
city.
surplus equipment?
Yeah.
We could look into that. and talk about
the city of Tulsa's would be, it goes to auction. How would that work? We would have to pre-approve for you to go to that auction personally, and what would,
Probably, I have worked for the city of Tulsa though, and I know that they treat their equipment till the end, so I don't know. I mean, it's,
well, that's a good, no, Harold made a good point. There's a lot of used stuff out there.
Well, because then the guys would have their own stuff and they wouldn't have to go through renting it. And I know some of them actually can actually donate some of it to smaller cities without going through the process of having to sell.
Or even eBay, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they can't give away because they expended Tulsa, in that case, Tulsa municipal funds for, and it has to be used for a Tulsa municipal purpose. But many times, and particularly when I was in Tulsa, I knew that they would lease it to a smaller community, fire trucks in particular, for a minimal amount, and they would retain ownership, but let somebody use it while they didn't need it. So that's one possibility, and I believe in the purchasing ordinance that the council's established, I think we did make provisions for some items to be obtained by auction, but we haven't used that yet, and I have to re-familiarize myself with it. So we may look at that and see if
yeah.
we can go to an auction.
What is actually wrong with the White Hawk lift station?
We've had, excuse
Bea,
me.
would you
we've had-
approach the mic,
Mine.
please?
Follow the rules, Bea, follow the rules.
The pumps that we actually installed last year, new pumps, have failed. We are talking to Haynes Equipment They are the ones who provided the pumps to us. They have taken them back and done a diagnostic. Honestly, they haven't been able to tell us what's gone wrong with them. We're still working with them. They're taking pressure testing on the line. They feel we might have some air trapped in the line. So we're still working, trying to get an answer on
Is
that.
that for the trails or for the?
No, that's
For
White
White
Hawk. White Hawk. It's a trail connected, yeah, the trail
So
connected.
was that when
down.
they came in last summer and were cutting through?
Mhm.
They were, so they're coming through some of the golf course area. Is that where they're trenching through there? There's something else. Was that something else?
I don't know if they went through the golf area.
When they trenched through, that was with the gravity line, and
Yeah.
then pumps, and that system were already there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That pump station. is-
So they were just putting the lines in to connect to that.
Correct. It's historically served, so every country, that's when it was first installed. And after that, it served Ridge, South County, and we got a trail as well.
Is that too much for it to serve?
No, no.
They're
it's-
good to go?
Manufacturers.
Yeah, and they are working with us and trying to figure that out.
Any other questions, comments on the consent agenda? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Loudmout,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
and Guthrie,
Yes.
and Easton.
Yes. Regular meeting. Item number 1, new business. Seeing none, we adjourn this Bixby Public Works Authority meeting at 6:36 PM.